You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
As always, I'm Seth Draken, and on the other end is the American Strong Style to my get my ass kicked, Mr. Mike Poland.
The American Wolves!
The Wolves! I should have said let the best man win.
Oh boy.
Oh,
what
yeah.
a show we have to talk about here.
Yeah. But first, we got news.
Yes.
First, we got to talk about Noah and TNA forming an alliance, which I guess will be in a wrestler exchange at times.
Hey, look, they got the company that's not NJPW.
Or the company that's not All Japan Pro Wrestling.
They got the company that hasn't been relevant in probably a decade.
Or the company that needed NJPW to save them for a little while, only to get bought, sell themselves to somebody else, and then NJPW was like, fuck you guys.
TNA, your business decisions aren't getting any better.
No, at least it's better than Wrestle 1.
Marty Bell said her release was an amicable one, from what I was reading earlier.
Yep. And Drew Galloway and the Hardys have not renewed.
Oh no, whoever will they lose the tag titles to?
Dixie Carter has moved out of her TNA offices in Nashville, Tennessee, and is not involved with any of the decision-making.
As you can tell, even though the shows haven't really improved much.
Serge Salinas is also no longer with the company.
Who? Surge?
Surge!
No more terrible music. Well,
They're back working at Trifecta Entertainment.
Apparently the last tapings were chaotic.
Yes, so Jeff Jarrett is now the head guy. John Gabor's still there, but he's not the head anymore.
And also back is Scott D'Amore.
Now it's, by the way, creatives, also Dutch Mantel, Gaboric, Madison Ray, Conway, I guess D'Amore, and Jeff
Conway?
Jarrett. Matt Conway.
Oh, not Rob Conway.
No.
Not Tim Conway.
No, not Tim Conway either. By the way, Don West, for all you... Yes, we know he's here. He's only here to help liquidate the TNA warehouse.
Yes,
so,
he's not
there full time.
Is he going to get a bigger paycheck this time?
I don't know, but it's Jarrett. He's friends with Jarrett, so that probably helped. He's only there to liquidate the everything out of the TNA warehouse.
Sell the shit that nobody wants to buy.
Just with the brown bag specials. Just give away everything.
Ugh, the brown. Could they come up with a better name for that?
The brown bag or blue bag special, whatever.
Yes, buy all our DVDs that were stupid enough not to actually market and sell at stores.
Yeah. And all our old shit. You want AJ Styles? You might get an AJ Styles thing. You might get Hulk Hogan.
Because we want that.
Yeah. You might get Bobby Roode. He's the current He's the current NXT World Champion.
Austin Aries.
Yeah, Austin Aries. Samoa Joe, who just debuted on Raw.
Dear God. The guys we have lost in the last 5 years.
Yes. You might be able to find Okada or Akato if they ever did release something like that.
Ugh. No TNA.
Or you might get a suicide mask.
I don't know if I want one of those.
Or TJ Perkins.
Ugh.
Or Brian Kendrick, or so many others.
You might get a beer money shirt.
Beer money!
Better be in my size, damn it.
Yeah. Alright. That the news?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, boy. We gotta talk about this show now.
Dear God, this show.
Okay, this show started off terribly. Okay, first, actually, no, it didn't. The Hardy Clan showed up and asked why Maxwell is eating carbs, which is crackers. His family only eats protein. And let the kid eat crackers. God dang it.
Probably the only thing he can eat at his age.
Oh, he can eat green beans, I'm sure.
Green beans!
Although I'm sure he won't like it. But yeah,
no, nobody likes green beans. Oh, at least no kid.
People tolerate them.
Yes.
So Jeff asked Matt what the deities are showing him and said, I'll reveal later.
Oh, will he?
And the Impact show started off showing last week, which I called Dummies with Briefcases. Yeah. That's what I thought of last week's show. So, start off the show with the DCC. Unfortunately, they will not explain why they wasted their case on Decay. And Josh was like, well, they got some explaining. I'm like, you're damn right they got some explaining to do. Oh, wait, you're talking about back in EC3 last week. Okay.
See, you got some explaining to do.
Yeah. They call themselves 3 bad men. And I'm like, no, I'm looking at 3 dumb men.
Dummies, yeah. Speaking of dummy, yeah.
Well, actually, he says, when this country is going to hell, it's good for business of the DCC. And I'm like, oh, so you're okay with what's going on right now.
How much longer will Bram be allowed in the country?
Well, he has a visa.
Oh,
and he ain't from any of the countries that were banned. Oh, by the way, that ban's pretty much temporarily gone, so.
Off the table. Well, they need people to build the wall.
Oh, yeah. Bram ain't gonna build any wall. Bram will get drunk and try to punch a cop.
Or beat up Charlotte.
Or punch a federal. Oh, he didn't beat up Charlotte. He beat up some other girlfriend.
Oh.
He didn't beat up Charlotte. No. So anyway, here comes the namer of dummies, Eli Drake, who lets Tyrus speak for him. And this is really dumb. Because Tyrus is an idiot. Who decides, oh, we can take them.
Let's make a child support joke.
Eli's like,
no.
Can we get the 3rd man here? No, we can take him. What? Really? Come on, 2-on-2. No, take all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And it begins before the commercial break. DCC is made to look like idiots because they're getting beat up. But then we get, by the way, commercial this week is something called Hot Roster.
Oh boy,
fantasy football thing with money, and I'm like, you're not getting my money.
And football season also just ended a week ago.
Well, you got baseball season. You got basketball season. You got hockey season.
You got professional wrestling, which isn't seasonal.
Yeah. And you got a code. We're sponsoring TNA.
Yeah. The bottom of the barrel.
The ref out there, this handicap match is now official. I'm like, just leave, Eli. And this match is weird. Let me explain. This match is a little... The 3 guys, DCC, they're heels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why for a good portion of the match were they being acting fascist? Where the ref was stopping them and the other heels were beating up the guys?
Who was the ref?
I have no idea who the ref was. I didn't care.
Was it Brian or Earl Dave?
I don't care. I didn't care about the ref this time. But seriously, why was DCC acting face? They're freaking heels.
Well, to be fair, so is Eli Drake and Tyrus.
Yes, but why the DCC are supposed to be the top heels? Top guys.
Well, that's what happens when you book heel versus heel.
Yeah. Although, you know what? Normally, the heels that are not as bad are normally the ones that end up being the faces, but...
Yeah, but nobody likes Eli Drake for some reason.
Well, bullshit. Everyone loves Eli Drake.
And he hates them.
Yeah. Okay, DCC's acting heel while Tyrus is in the ring, and Storm makes fun of Tyrus's WWE run.
Somebody about called on DCC's mama.
Yep.
Shut up, Pope.
Yeah, and then Eli Drake does the smart thing and says, fuck you, I'm out of here. You seem to think you can handle all 3 of them on your own. Fine. You do that.
And he does have a minute or so of babyface fire. But
by the way, Eli Drake, there was never any moment where Tyrus goes to look for his partner. So any issue Tyrus has with his partner leaving him, you weren't looking for a tag, so he thought you could take care of yourself, I'm sure. So James Storm hit the last call, and Kingston gets his first pin.
Hey, Kingston.
Oh, by the way, they also got to set up that Franklin versus Eddie is the main event tonight.
You don't say.
So, Brandy's backstage with nice cleavage. And she says she's going to call out the Knockouts champ because it's time for the Knockouts champ reality check. And I'm like, because Rosemary doesn't play by the rules, even though Rosemary has won clean every time her title matches.
Well, both of those were gimmick matches, and one of them was Sienna.
Yes, still clean. Clean as a sheet here.
If this is where they're going with Rosemary to feud with after Jade is done with her.
Oh, God, no. And then Allie and Braxton Sutter have an awkward moment, and Maria stops it and says,
Coffee!
Coffee! You want coffee or whiskey coffee? Coffee!
There's whiskey coffee?
Apparently, you pour whiskey in the coffee.
I bet some of the TNA writers wish they had that.
Who's saying they don't? Who's saying they don't?
Or maybe you wish you have it sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I don't drink coffee, though.
Just whiskey.
I don't even drink whiskey. Nasty stuff. It's taste. So, yeah, Maria says, I'm going to pretend that never happened, and I want you to propose to Laurel tonight and make sure everything's nice and stuff. And she's like, why do you can't make me do this? You're right, I can't, but I can do stuff, and I expect you to do the right thing. So, and anyone asking why Allie is still working with Maria, they retcon that she was never fired, so never officially fired. So, Brandy comes out with her, yeah, it sounds like Gail entrance. It just
Terrible.
says that, so she wants to fight Rosemary.
Rosemary comes out with Decay.
Yeah, so, and I'm like, okay, Knockouts champ, you don't need Decay out here. You can kick this greedy and make her learn her fucking place in this company. So, Rosemary just has Decay kind of distract her by creeping up on her, and Rosemary chokes her out, puts her in a front face lock. But Moose is here to save the day.
Mighty Moose.
And then our first Aaron Rex segment, which is quick, but still painful. And it has one of the dumbest lines I have heard in a pro wrestling show. I want you to remember, this is a pro wrestling show. These are wrestlers. Aaron Rex is a wrestler.
Shut up.
Here's what Aaron Rex says. Violence is not the answer.
What are you, a hippie?
Here's the problem here. He's mind you, pro wrestler. Saying violence is not the answer. What the fuck's wrong with you? That's wrestling. Pro wrestling. You're a pro wrestler. You hit people. You punch people. Violence is part of the game. You dumb shit. Who came up with this? Same person that probably thought, how about we have a pacifist as a pro wrestler?
A pacifist?
Yeah, because violence isn't the answer. Non-violence is always the answer.
Not when you're in wrestling, it's not.
You're wrestling. This is wrestling. So backstage, Moose talks about how Decay, he'll be part of Brandy's friends and stuff. And Brandy wants a mixed tag match. And while she's saying this and doing the Moose thing, she has the face that doesn't give a shit. That could not care one bit to seem emotionally attached to this storyline.
Nope.
So then we continue with Rockstar Spud in the ring. So to introduce Aaron Rex.
And he done it 4 times.
But at least the good news is Aaron Rex ain't wearing the flesh-colored tights anymore. But unfortunately, he is talking, and he says, Spud, you people cannot... The announcer, don't call me Aaron Rex. You got to sing Aaron Rex. Aaron Rex. Aaron Rex. Robbie E gets new music.
He had it for the One Night Only show, too.
Oh, he did? Okay. So, I refuse to sing your name, Mr. Rex.
Ugh.
And people are like, great, 2 guys the fans want to see stuck with a sterile gimmick versus a guy no one gives a shit about. I'm like, Rex is also getting exposed for how not great he is.
Yep.
Of course, this match is stupid, it's boring, nobody gives a shit, and Rex wins with a KO shot. By the way,
power of the punch.
the finger, he has the tape on it. He dusts the tape on his fingers.
Yay.
So backstage, we have a segment with the Hardy Boys where Reby is wondering if they should do this. And by the way, this all was filmed during the match that we last left off, because you can hear the bell and you can hear some of the reactions going on. You could hear it.
I did that quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. So Hardys are headed to the rings, and you learn the commercial breaks. Don't do Snow Angels next to the Green Giant. In fact, Green Giant might have Pervy Girl looking at him. The Jolly Green Giant, if you all know. And we need to hire John Wick to take care of Impact Wrestling. So more highlights from past Franklin versus Eddie matches. We then see Eddie backstage with his wife, Davey, and Davey's wife, Angelina Love, or as they like to say originally, as Josh said, his partner's wife, Davey Richards, Angelina Love.
Shut up, Josh.
You kind of mixed up the words there, Josh. His partner, Davey Richards' wife, Angelina. And by the way,
because we can't make that sound more robotic.
Yeah. By the way, I called her Davey's baby mama because I did not know they were married yet. I was not aware of that.
For a while.
Yeah, and I forgot that. And I was not happy that I did not
during one of Davey's many injuries in the last few years.
Yeah, I did not realize that. So my bad. Mike Bennett tells Braxton Sutter that they are practically family now.
No, they're not.
And basically, Mike Bennett talks this, and Braxton gets an idea. You're right. I'm going to do the right thing. And Mike doesn't realize that means not good things. Like, I'm great at this. So here come the Broken Hardys with Reby and King Maxwell. And you notice in the ring, something is under the covers.
It's a new and improved Vanguard 1.
First, they talk about their expedition of gold. Or as Goldmember says, I love gold.
Gold!
There are gold in these here hills. So Vanguard 1 is now equipped with the teleportation device. And Jeff...
Somehow they got Vanguard 1 fixed after the Young Bucks super a couple months ago.
And Jeff said a word called embrangled. I don't know what that means.
I don't think that's a word.
I don't think so either.
Jeff Hardy's mind probably is.
Yeah, so they're going to touch Vanguard 1, and they get taken to places. And here we get to see Hardy effects. They actually did special effects for this, where the Hardys disappeared.
And they ended up in Mexico.
Tijuana, Mexico. Maybe get some tequila.
I don't know if you want Matt or Jeff around alcohol.
I like the segment, but unfortunately, here comes Malabali Shira, and he's getting a grand title shot.
Oh, by the way, next week it's going to be the Hardys against...
no, wait, that's later. We'll reveal that later.
Okay.
Here comes Malabali Shira, and he is getting a grand title shot. I don't know why.
For what reason?
And
just to fill out a few minutes. And
by the way, first round Shira wins, but the bell rings, but Shira still is an idiot and hits the sky high. Why is he not taking a point away? That was a cheap shot.
Maybe he's foreign and doesn't understand the rules.
Yeah, seriously. In any other place, a shot after the bell, you'd get either a warning, you'd get yelled at by the fucking ref for that shit. In any real sport. In the MMA, you start punching after the... So, yeah, he hits the sky high after the bell rings. Completely, not even close to... either this or he completely missed his spot and was supposed to sky high just as the bell was going to ring, but no, he sky high'd after the bell rung.
Maybe the timekeeper missed the spot.
Whatever. So Malabali Shira won round 1 with some of the laziest clotheslines I've ever seen. This guy just walks up and hits someone expects to hit you with a clothesline instead of run at you. So then we get the most awkward plug for Schitt's Creek guy I've ever heard on this show. Josh, there's a killer on the loose. Well, there's a killer on the loose for Schitt's Creek, clear at night, something like that.
There's a killer on the loose.
Yes. Wait, there's a killer here.
Wait.
I'm like, what? I'm like, what, Josh? Seriously, that's how the intro begins. And this is during the second round. He said, "There's a killer here," and I'm like, "Huh? Where? What the fuck?" Oh, well, there's a killer in Schitt's Creek, apparently.
Good God, Josh.
Yeah, I just laughed my ass off at that shelling. I was like, "Oh dear God, help us!"
You messed up that one.
Scared us. It's a killer in the arena.
And apparently, people sat through days worth of tapings without knowing it.
I think those shills are done in post, so that's why they're.
By the way,
out.
Eugene Levy might be the most awkward actor ever.
I've seen worse. Not much.
But then again, he was supposed to be the older guy in the American Pie movie, so that works.
Yeah. So
Jason Biggs might be a little worse too, but.
So Drew hits the Future Shock DDT to retain the title. By the way, if you want to talk about worst awkward actors, go watch those freaking Birdemic.
What is it?
Birdemic.
Never heard of it.
Or there's a guy named Rod who is basically a rod. Well, not really a rod, but metaphorically.
Oh boy.
Basically an acting rod.
That sounds tremendous.
I got fish. The woman says, "I got fish," and he's like, "Great, great, yeah." In the monocone, great. So yeah, because it's horrible acting at its finest. Yeah, there are worse acting. Trust me, I've seen it. I wouldn't. So Braxton and Laurel have a conversation. Braxton's trying to break up with her. He drops his water bottle, gets on one knee to pick it up, and Laurel thinks this is engagement.
Die.
And Rex was like, no. I wanted to do the exact opposite. So here comes the Helms dynasty.
Oh.
Helms talks some shit, and he gives the mic to Trevor. And dear God, why is this motherfucker not spoken beforehand? Besides the one segment on the fact of like, this guy has a charisma. This guy's actually good. Why hasn't he been allowed to speak? Why has he just been allowed to look like a freaking jobber with facial expressions?
Captain Caveman.
Why has he just been allowed to go and stuff, like freaking facials?
What is he? Carolina's running to Stu Hart?
I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, Gregory Shane Helms says Andrew has been the weak link element of their group.
And Everett calls bullshit on it.
And the crowd likes Everett. And he says, I'm not going to disrespect you, but you're wrong. Maybe you're the weakness.
Everywhere we've gone, we've won titles, and we didn't have you beforehand. Maybe it's you who's the weakness.
And he says this. Lee thinks about it for a minute, and then sneak attacks Everett. So, yep, we're going to have a Trevor Lee versus Andrew Everett feud, which I do not mind.
I'll have to look up and see if I can find some of their matches from like indies and elsewhere.
So then we get a montage of Franklin and Eddie talking about the main event. Then we get to see the Hardys being escorted around Tijuana to find the tag team champions of this place. And the Mexican fans are having fun with them, and it's really nice. But next week, the Expedition Gold begins, and we're going to get from Crash, I think the Crash promotion, the Hardys versus Psychosis and Super Crazy.
Oh, that should be fun.
Yes. So main event time. Franklin and Eddie Edwards and both Alicia and Angelina are in the crowd.
And they put way too much focus on these two throughout the match.
Yeah. There's one spot there are very few spots that happen. The ending is where it counts. Franklin tried to use the title, but Davey takes it away. Destruction causes Eddie to hit the Blue Thunder Bomb. 1, 2, kick out. Franklin goes for a spear, but Eddie counters with a Boston Knee Party, which had won him the title before. But 1-2, Davey pulls the ref out of the ring, and Eddie is fucking confused. And Davey's like, "You want to do it yourself? It's all about you, man. All about you, isn't it?" So he's like, so then I don't know what happened to the ref.
Angelina knocks out
Alicia.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened to the ref because Davey hit Eddie with the belt, and Franklin hits the spear, and then the ref comes in for a win, or a different ref. I don't know.
That ref disappeared.
Yeah, he disappeared. I think maybe another ref showed up. I don't know. So Davey and Angelina start beating up on Eddie and Alicia. Alicia's forced to watch as Davey chokes out Eddie with a belt, and we get a small "This is awesome" chant.
Even though Davey's supposed to be the heel.
Yes, and then they do Angelina and Eddie and Davey do a weak-ass kiss.
Yep.
So that's the end of the show, and unfortunately, that was the weakest Eddie Edwards versus Franklin match.
And what did you say the best match was? Because I would say the Iron Man was the best.
The Iron Man or the Steel Cage match. It was one of those two. There really was no good match on this show.
And a lot of this was like angles stuff.
The best angle was the Hardy stuff.
Yep, and then you have the Helms Dynasty splitting.
Yeah, that was good.
And then you have the stupid DCC versus Tyrus and Eli, which is going to set up, I guess, Tyrus and Eli as a feud. Which, who the fuck wants to see that?
Yeah, but unfortunately, I guess Eddie Edwards and Franklin, it was the best match, but that doesn't say much.
Nope.
It's by default, because every other match here was bad.
Yep.
And that one just didn't suck, but was meh.
Correct.
So that's a D. This was a bad show. DCC gets still made to look like idiots.
Yep.
Despite winning a match again, it takes all three of them to beat up Tyrus,
the man dinosaur,
the former Funkasaurus.
Oh, Funky is not on a roll.
Yeah. The Aaron Rex thing, just stop with this. Just
kill the gimmick.
Stop.
You're exposing Rex for not being very good.
No, and you're saying stuff like violence is not the answer.
You're burying Spud, and you're making...
Oh, God, poor Spud on this.
Yeah.
Poor fucking Spud.
I mean, he can make it work, but you're still burying him with this.
He is trying his hardest, and it is not working. It's just not. Just stop with this.
This is a guy that was in a hot angle, 2 years ago with EC3. And now he's doing this.
Yeah. It was a hot angle with EC3. He was part of the Hardy heel team.
And in the last 6 to 8 months, you've had him feud with Braxton Sutter and do this.
Yeah, and get beat up by a child. Get beat up by a midget. And then do this. God.
Even the man with 3 H's would like this burial.
Yeah. I see why former Mark Andrews, former British Boot Camp, got the fuck out of there before they fucked him over. Because they were fucking him over, and then they were like, hey, we should push this guy to be the X Division feud. And too late, too little, too late. I'm gonna go compete in the UK tournament for the WWE.
And possibly get signed by WWE.
Yeah. So fuck you guys. Bye.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Yep. Screw you guys. I'm going to where the real money is. I'm going to get a better paycheck and maybe get featured more than get looked like less of a wimp and fight guys like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate and stuff like that. Fight real competition.
And on that note,
what do you think this show? D or
D?
C? Yeah, it was just not good.
D for dummy, yeah.
Said for 2 weeks ago, the show was great, but it has taken a nosedive. And one of the other thing I have noticed is, for all the effort about how much money Anthem has to throw around, the show does not seem like it's improved production-wise at all. They have not broken the bank to get new talent. In fact, 3 of their talent contracts are up soon this month.
3 more losses in the bank.
And, WWE would love to get the Hardys back.
Even if it's only for a little bit.
Even if it's only for a little bit.
And maybe they would go after Drew, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Drew's not an old guy by any means yet.
No. Oh, well, though, yeah, the whole thing with him and I'm not sure he would come back. Yeah, I think he did not like his WWE run.
Well, it started off promising. It's just got lost somewhere along the way.
It did not end well. And just, God, get Guy, you know what? Get talent. Bring in some talent. Do better shows. Make the arena look better. And eventually, at some point, you're going to have to leave the Impact Zone because because that crowd is dead. Yep. You have killed the crowd already at this point.
Well, that's also because they do, 7 days worth of tapings each time they tape. Oh, dear
God, yeah.
What you do is you lessen the taping schedule.
Yeah,
you tape 4 weeks of TV, and then if you want to tape 2 one-night-only shows, you do that.
Yeah, you do a week of tapings, and then you do a week of tapings now? Why do you do that? Why do you have shows up to March?
All you need is 1 month of TV.
At most, you do 2 weeks of tapings. Don't do 9 weeks of nine weeks of tapings.
You do about which gets you about 6 or 7 episodes. But yeah, you're doing at least 2 months of tapings in a week.
Yeah, NXT, which really works, does 4 weeks. 4.
That was the model for a long time. WWE used to do that.
4 or 2. Raw used to do 2.
Ring of Honor does that now. You do 4 weeks of taping, you come back in a month and do more tapings.
Yeah, don't do dear God, how many tapings you do.
Especially when you're not doing pay-per-views every month. You're not building to anything.
And especially when, you're not as broke as you used to be.
Slow it down. Like I said, you do 2 days worth of TV, or you do 3 days worth of TV. You can get 4 weeks, and then if you want to do the 2 one-night-only shoots, you do that, and you come back in a month.
At some point, I do want to wonder when this pay-per-view contract ends, because the one night only needs to go.
The problem is, do you rush right back into doing?
No, you just don't do the pay-per-views anymore. Just have special impacts, and that's it.
Yeah, but I've read where some people want to see TNA do monthly pay-per-views again. I'm like,
no.
Well, they didn't draw before, and they're like, it's because of the gates of the house shows. I'm like, no, it's because nobody buys pay-per-views anymore.
It wasn't just that TNA basically at the point made you not care about. They cared too much about the TV show, and they didn't care about the pay-per-views.
Nothing would happen on the pay-per-views.
Yeah, nothing would happen on the pay-per-views. Nothing.
You might
and
get
that's still sadly
good
a
matches,
problem.
but you weren't getting a main event title change or angle unless it was 8 Citizen 8s very rarely.
Yeah, the big title change that happened was Franklin beating Drew Galloway. Bound for Glory this year, Franklin retained and then lost the next week. And then
What's that tell the audience that bought the pay-per-view? It's like, wait a minute. By the way,
lost 4 days later.
And to a guy he had beaten, 2 or 3 times beforehand.
Yeah, he had dominated.
It wasn't to Moose, who would have been good for this era of.
And lost to one Balsani party when before he could take 2 or 3.
Yes, that's the problem. If you want TNA to go back to pay-per-views when it's a dead medium, that's why WWE has a network now.
Yeah.
And then
although
when they were on pay-per-view.
Although ROH ain't doing bad on the pay-per-view circuit, I'm hearing.
They'd run 4 or 5 a year.
Yeah.
But that's also because they only run the 4 or 5 a year. They're not doing 16 a year like WWE does now.
Yeah.
They tape 8 weeks worth of TV to lead to a pay-per-view, and then they do the pay-per-view.
Yeah, just stop.
If you're not going to make the pay-per-views matter, then don't do them. Just do the special impacts.
Although WWE needs to cut down on the pay-per-views too, to be fair.
They need to not do them every 2 weeks. And I don't think they need Fastlane in the middle
WWE does them every freaking month and most months.
They don't need the pay-per-view before Mania. That's going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
Elimination Chamber might be good, but the pay-per-view before Mania, you don't need...
Fastlane?
Yeah, you don't need that.
Yeah. I don't watch most of the... I only watch the Big Five. I don't even watch the WWE show, so sorry we got off on a tangent here.
Hey, that's okay. We got a good debate on here.